This is part 17. Why is my camera doing that? That was weird. This is part 17 of my weekly series where I show you how much money I made trading options. Now, if you're new to the world of stock trading, day trading, swing trading, and you think about options as that thing that's too complicated and you don't want to learn, you really should follow me. There are a lot of content creators who talk about options, and I find that their videos are too overwhelmingly, unnecessarily complex. Maybe it's because they're not good at simplifying these explanations, or maybe they're trying to complicate it on purpose, so you have to buy their course where they make it easier. Either way, not a fan of that. 6 months maybe ago, I saw some videos on social media that were misleading options and overcomplicating it and guiding people to an $800 course, and I said, nope, I'm going to do something that I've never done before. I'm going to learn something new. Well, I've done that before, but I'm going to learn options, and I'm going to document the process in this playlist for you to follow along and learn, and I'm not going to try to sell you anything. So let's take a look at last week, because it was my most lucrative week ever. And part of the reason that it was so lucrative is because I had a lot more money to trade with this week, because last weekend I sold my 1985 Ford Bronco. A lot of money came into my account, and I said, hey, let me use some of this money to make more money. Now, this series first started with hymns right here at the top, where I was trying to show people that with a relatively small amount of money, you could make $180 a week. That's why this playlist is called How to Make $180 per Week. But as I started trading options, I started realizing this is, number one, pretty easy. Number two, relatively low risk. And number three, I know what I'm going to make ahead of time, unlike day or swing trading where you don't know how much you're going to make. There are risks too, like the upside is capped, and risks like with hymns, the stock can plummet, which it did. The stock tanked on Friday, going from almost $58 all the way down to $52, all in one day. That's not great. So now I'm stuck with this position that I purchased at $58, $55, and it's now around $52, which means I might not be able to sell covered calls on Monday, or might not be able to sell it for lucrative covered calls, not as much money next week. Time will tell. And of course, hindsight being 2020, when you are trading 5 or 6 stocks every single week like I am, there's always going to be that one that just absolutely skyrockets. And it's this guy down here that you can see that I purchased at $43.42, and it closed at $50. Now, I only had 100 shares, but if you do some very quick math, you can see, let's just say that I sold it at 50 and I was in at 43.42. On my 100 shares, I would have made $658. I made $237 on the options contract. So this week, you'd look at this thing and you'd say, oh, there might have been some stocks where I could have made a little bit more money if I just traded them instead of sold the covered calls. But other weeks, you'll make more from the premium and the stock won't move very much. So remember what I always say, the goal isn't to make all of the money, just some of it. And this week, I spent $64,881, and I made $2,647 or 4%. SoundHound closed at $17.85, so these shares were assigned, which means I get back my $6,500. Joby closed at $18.26, which means these shares were assigned, and I get my $6,600 back. D-Wave closed at $32.70, which means these shares were also assigned, and I get my $8,100 back. Enphase cut it kind of close, but it closed at $36.80, which means I get my $10,800 back. Those shares were also assigned. Applied Digital was a stock that I had traded over 2 weeks ago, or about 2 weeks ago, that went down and recovered midweek. So I sold an options contract that didn't expire this Friday or yesterday, but expires on the 10th. So this one is still in play. And finally, IREN closed at $50.46, which means these shares were assigned as well, and I got my $4,300 back. That means the only position that was not assigned was HIMS, because it closed at $52.54. So ouch, and I'm stuck. My $23,420 is tied up in this position. This is one of the downsides of this strategy. Your money can be tied up. Now, the premiums on Monday might be very low, might not be worth me selling on Monday. Maybe if the stock climbs up midweek next week, then I'll be able to either sell a contract for that Friday or even further out. Time will tell. If you're new and you're watching this series going, dude, I don't have 64,000. Look, remember, you don't have to buy hundreds of shares. You can buy 100 shares. That's the minimum for this, because one contract equals 100 shares. So the minimum requirement is 100 shares of not just these companies that I traded, but any company you're interested in, is a way that you can start generating passive income. You have to understand the risks, you have to understand all the pros and cons of a strategy like this, and if you have questions, ask them down below. But remember, if you're not following me, I'm not going to respond. It's just one way that I set boundaries, because a lot of people like to take a lot of advantage.